The story opens in Los Angeles late at night, a city alive with movement, where every person seems to be heading somewhere important. In the middle of this restless energy, two armed men carrying a suitcase walk into a jewelry store. Not far away, a man named Mike sits quietly in his car, watching them with sharp focus. As soon as the men exit the store and begin to leave, Mike starts following them. He keeps his distance, waiting patiently for the perfect moment. Then suddenly, he blocks their path with his car. When they angrily tell him to move, Mike pulls out a gun, robs them of the jewelry, and disappears into the night without a trace. A few days later, the same two men return to the jewelry store, this time carrying diamonds. They are far more alert now. The moment they step out, Mike begins tailing them again. This time, they notice him. Still, Mike follows them for quite a distance until he finally stops them in a quiet, isolated area. He points his gun at them once more and demands the real diamonds, warning them that risking their lives for an insurance company is meaningless. Even though they are armed, Mike acts so quickly that they have no chance to react. He grabs the diamonds and turns to leave, but suddenly one of the men attacks him. Thanks to the bulletproof glass of his car, Mike survives, but the shattered glass injures him. Clearly shaken, he drives off at high speed, abandons his car in an underground parking lot, switches vehicles, and escapes, his nerves rattled. Soon after, we meet Danny, a police officer interrogating the same two men. He questions how they could be robbed twice by the same person without suffering any injuries. He even suspects they might be involved, but they deny everything and explain the incidents. Danny realizes the thief has left absolutely no evidence. He visits the company responsible for transporting the valuables, trying to understand how the robber always knows the exact timing, but again, he gets no useful leads. Meanwhile, Mike meets a man named Manny, who offers him a massive job with huge money involved. However, Mike hesitates because the job must be executed in broad daylight, making it extremely dangerous. The next day, Mike meets Devin, gives him money, and receives a photograph of a woman named Sen, who works for an insurance company. At the same time, a man named Almond meets Manny. Manny briefs him about the same job, but Almond's crew believes the risk is too high. They agree to assist indirectly, but refuse to be directly involved, knowing how strict law enforcement is. Later, Mike gets into a minor accident when a woman rear-ends his car. Since it's a woman, the situation remains calm. They exchange contact details for insurance purposes, and she introduces herself as Maya. Elsewhere, Danny presents a pattern of similar robberies over the past 5 years. Some involved violence, others multiple accomplices, but this particular thief stands out because he leaves no evidence and never harms anyone. However, his senior officer dismisses his efforts and pressures him to close the case quickly, regardless of whether the real criminal is caught. At the same time, another robbery occurs. A man follows someone carrying a suitcase into a jewelry store, storms in with a gun, takes hostages, steals valuables, and vanishes without a trace. Later, Mike texts Maya and asks her out. They meet at a hotel, and when she asks what he does, he casually claims to work in software development. Maya bluntly says they are not a good match, but Mike insists otherwise. They later move to a roadside restaurant where their conversation becomes deeper. They talk about money, life, and purpose. Maya explains that wealthy people she works for are often unhappy, while Mike says he knows exactly how much money he needs to be satisfied. After spending time together, Maya leaves, but they agree to meet again. Meanwhile, CCTV footage of the jewelry store robbery reaches Danny, but it is useless because the robber's face is hidden by a helmet. Mike later confronts Manny about a payment issue, warning him he will walk away if cheated again. Manny secretly instructs Almond to keep an eye on Mike and even rob him if the opportunity arises. Mike meets Devin again and receives more critical information. It is then revealed that they use a pornographic website as a secret communication channel. Mike later meets Sen at a planned location and proposes a deal. She provides insider information about wealthy clients, and he pays her. She refuses and walks away. Later, Maya visits Mike's apartment, but feels uneasy. The place has no personal items, no photos, nothing that reveals who he really is. Mike avoids her questions about his past. Despite this, they grow closer, dance, and share an intimate moment. Soon after, Mike notices Almond watching him. He quickly checks his car and finds a tracking device. Without wasting time, he changes location and disappears. Meanwhile, Almond attacks Devin to find out what information he has been giving Mike. At the same time, Danny finds Mike's abandoned car and discovers blood inside, sending it for DNA analysis. Mike later meets Sen again at an art exhibition. She carefully analyzes him and realizes he is hiding something. Mike admits he approached her intentionally and offers the deal again, but she refuses. However, after being attacked by Almond, Sen changes her mind. She provides Mike with detailed information about valuable items, where they will be, when, and how they will be transported. Danny eventually tracks down a man named James Davis, only to discover that this man is actually Mike. Mike realizes his identity has been exposed. At the same time, Almond attacks Sen to extract information. Later, Sen confesses everything to Danny. He warns her that going to the police could get her into serious trouble, but offers her protection. Meanwhile, Maya confronts Mike, telling him she cannot trust him. She points out his lies and how he avoids eye contact when lying. Despite developing feelings for him, she walks away. As the final plan begins, Mike, Danny, and Almond all position themselves to intercept the valuables. Sen exposes her manipulative boss and quits her job. At the hotel, everything comes together. Mike holds everyone at gunpoint and forces them to open a safe filled with cash. Donnie, who is secretly a police officer involved in the situation, confronts him. Almond arrives as well, escalating the tension. All three men stand armed in a tense standoff. Almond shoots the wealthy man in the shoulder. In the chaos, Mike seizes an opportunity and shoots Almond, killing him. Afterward, Donnie lets Mike go, deciding to report Almond as the sole thief. He blackmails the wealthy man into staying silent about illegal dealings. In the end, Donnie secretly keeps some diamonds for himself. A few days later, Maya receives a letter from Mike along with a photograph of him and his brothers, hinting at a painful past. In the letter, Mike writes that he no longer needs more money and has realized what truly matters in life. As Maya reads the letter, a quiet sense of happiness appears on her face. And with that, the story comes to an end.